Well, here we go again with this corrupt group called The View. I do not watch them. I mean, all they do is sit on this show and slander Donald Trump. They don't want anybody to come on this show that supports Donald Trump. Look how she treated Judge Jeanine. Cussed the woman out, knew that she was wrong. Whoopi should have been fired after that. So, I mean, at this point, we just all sick of it. I cannot watch this show. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, salute to Doug. He said that Joy Behar is out. The View could fire her if she threatens Trump again. Because remember, she had threatened time and she hoped Donald Trump choke on a cheeseburger the time he beat Nikki Haley. And she was talking about she hope he choke on a cheeseburger, just making all these death threats and stuff. It is just ridiculous. I can't see how anybody watches them live. Like, they're just insane. But without further ado, let's dive straight into it. I will leave the original video in the description. Make sure y'all go over to Doug's page. Let him know Adogg sent you, all right? The original video will be in the description. Make sure y'all hit that like button so more people can see how The View always make a fool of themselves because they are jealous that Donald Trump is going to win and going to become the president this November. You know what I'm saying? So that's why they really mad. So without further ado, let's go ahead and dive straight into it again. She probably didn't threaten Trump again like she's been doing. Let's go.
No one should have immunity, but the president has to have immunity because Democrats will hunt you if you don't have immunity.
Yep.
That's what we're going to talk about on this episode as The View considers the Supreme Court. And we love talking about The View because they represent completely ignorant American liberals.
Yep.
Welcome to Doug in Exile. I'm Doug TenNapel. I'm the creator of Earthworm Jim, The Neverhood, Cat Scratch. I did a bunch of kids shows and video games and comic books, and now I do the news. It's kind of funnier. Let's watch The View.
Now, let's look at a scenario where the Supreme Court says, yes, he has all those rights. He is immune from everything.
Yeah.
You know what Joe Biden could do since he is presently president?
What?
Whoa. He could throw every Republican in jail.
No,
A
he
whole lot
can't.
of Republicans probably should go to jail. Certainly every Democrat should be in jail.
He cannot do
just
this.
for destroying life. Because Trump claimed immunity in saying that he questioned the last election, right? They're saying that's a crime. And they go, oh, you say he has immunity to have free speech to go against that crime? Oh, yeah? Well, I say we can then jail every Republican. That's how the Democrats think. They're nuts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, he could.
No, he can't.
No. What this means is he could do anything.
Yeah.
He cannot.
He could dismiss everybody's debt.
Yeah.
You know, there's a whole bunch of great stuff that could happen.
Why does Whoopi go to dismissing debt as a great thing that can happen? That's her only example she could come up with. She goes, he could dismiss everyone's debt. Is that a great thing? When someone goes to a bank and says, please, I need you to loan me some money. Here's 20% down. I'll pay you an interest rate. And a bank goes, okay, it's kind of risky, but here you go. Here's your $800,000 to buy a house. And Whoopi goes, the president could just eliminate that debt, just forgive it, and that'd be okay. That'd be good. Really, Whoopi? Would that be okay? I know a debt the president could just say is paid. How about reparations? All reparations are paid. Something tells me Whoopi doesn't mean that.
Let's really look at what this means.
Yeah. So they're basically kicking the can down the road, though. They're not taking up this case immediately.
Right.
So what's their motivation then? If we all know that they can't do what you just said because of the extreme power that a president would have, what is their motivation for not doing it right away?
Yeah, what is the motivation for the Supreme Court not taking up presidential immunity right away? There's a really clear answer. If you go back and look at precedent, overall, you cannot manipulate the Supreme Court into taking emergency action, quickly, impulsively deciding law.
That's right.
That's not what a Supreme Court slow motion, turtle-like, lifetime appointment is supposed to do. They're not voted into office. They're appointed. If you're telling people what the law, what the Constitution means, You don't want it to be turning on a dime and going, this week, the Constitution means this, and tomorrow the Constitution means that, and now it's been 15 minutes, and now the Constitution means this because now my guy's in office, and next week when your guy's in office, then the Constitution means this.
Fortunately, some people are saying the motivation is that there are certain conservative justices that have been appointed by Trump that want to help him.
That's a conspiracy, and that's something that Adam Schiff has said. The conservative justices just want to help Trump. I did a little more work on this only because Rachel Maddow's been making these dumb claims about the Supreme Court, that it's all just trying to help Trump. But the one thing they can't explain why, less than 2 years ago, the Supreme Court went against Trump.
Yep.
Why wouldn't they help him over his financial records? What am I talking about? This is when the Supreme Court sided with the Democrats in Congress who were trying to subpoena Trump for his financial records in a case called Trump versus Vance. There's two of these cases I'm going to bring up. And the other one is when the Manhattan District Attorney, who was trying to subpoena Trump for his financial records, called Trump versus Mazars, M-A-Z-A-R-S. We're going to get into both of these in just a second. In both cases, Trump's saying that they didn't have access to his financial records. This is back when they were trying to get his financials while he was about to run for president in 2020. They're going, give up your tax records. We want to look and see what your campaign donations are. We want to look into the Stormy Daniels situation. And Trump claimed immunity. And the Supreme Court overall said, no, you don't have immunity. By the way, he's probably going to lose this immunity case overall in the long run, well after the election. You just can't speed up the Supreme Court on it.
Right.
But if the court was trying to cover up for Trump and trying to help him, why did they decide against him on showing his financials to the Democrats?
There you go.
That's all I'm saying. It's the exact same court.
Yep.
So the makeup of it didn't change, and no cases have changed. And they ruled against Trump. Now let's look at these quotes that I pulled from the SCOTUS blog. This is a Supreme Court devoted blog, a great one. Here's their ruling, Trump versus Mazars in USA LLP. Here's the docket number. It has the argument was made in 2020, has the DC circuit that they're trying to counter below. The vote was 7-2, and it was written by John Roberts, okay? And the two that are in dissent, we'll go into this in a minute, but the two in dissent are Alito and Clarence Thomas. Here we go. The holding, although congressional subpoenas for the president's information may be enforceable, the court below, in this case, did not take adequate account of the significant separation of powers concerns implicated by subpoenas from the House of Representatives seeking President Donald Trump's financial records.
Whoa.
And here's the key. The judgment was vacated and remanded 7-2 in an opinion written by Chief Justice Roberts on July 9, 2020. So it's the entire court of 7 versus 2. Who were the two dissenting? It was Thomas and Justice Alito in the dissenting opinion. That's key because it shows that they're the ones, if anyone, was trying to help Trump. If we're going to let that, if that's the version of the accusation, the other 7 justices, okay, including 4 conservatives, went against Trump. So how can you say that they're the ones trying to help him in that case?
Exactly.
We'll go further. This is on the Trump versus Vance one. Faced with these competing interests, the Supreme Court rendered somewhat of a split decision in Trump's pair of challenges in the subpoenas seeking his financial records. In Trump versus Vance, a 7-2 majority held that Article 2 and the Supremacy Clause do not categorically preclude or require a showing of heightened need for and the issuance of a state criminal subpoena of a sitting president. In Trump versus Mazars, the congressional subpoena case, the same 7-2 majority held that the lower courts did not adequately consider the separation of powers concerns raised by these 2 subpoenas. In both cases, there we go. Justice John Roberts wrote the majority opinion with Justices Sam Alito and Clarence Thomas dissenting. I'm just using this as hard, absolute fact that proves Sonny Hostin is wrong and you're an idiot and I'm a barely literate comic book artist and I can make a better legal argument than you. This is about the Supreme Court is not politicized to help Trump. In these two cases, they could have and they didn't. And they disagreed with Alito and Clarence Thomas, who are in the minority opinion.
See, Doug just made a great opinion. Y'all notice this is that every time the left feels like they feel like somebody's trying to help Trump because they want everybody to go against Donald Trump. That's what they want. They want everybody to go against Donald Trump. If they feel like you even siding with Trump just a little bit, oh, you trying to help Trump. Oh, you trying to help Trump. Okay, did they just help Joe Biden? With his documents case, this man had his documents in his garage and they just let him go scot-free. Let him go scot-free. They didn't let Trump go. You know what I'm saying? They helped Joe Biden. But the time they feel like Trump is getting a little bit of help, here they go, want to call out that person. Oh, the Supreme Court look like they trying to help Donald Trump. They shouldn't have took this case. It is just sickening, man. And the way Whoopi just, and another dumb statement Whoopi said, how can Joe Biden just put somebody in jail? Joe Biden can't put nobody in jail because he's the president. You can't just put somebody in there because you don't like them. They got to been and did something. So she'll be talking about, you know what Joe Biden can do? He can put every Republican in jail. No, he cannot. That's the reason why I say, why do Whoopi, like, I just don't get it. She hates Trump so bad that she just really, she just don't mind saying something just stupid. It is just crazy. Joe Biden can put somebody in jail, but Joe Biden can't even finish any sentences. He don't know how to get off the stage. He don't know how to do anything, but he can just put every Republican in jail because he's the president. No, he cannot. That was just a dumb statement by Whoopi for saying something like that. Oh, man.
It'll probably happen again, by the way, when this thing does get decided. All these Democrats are hysterical just that the Supreme Court took it up. It'll take forever. It'll happen after Trump gets elected. But when they do decide on it, I'll bet you anything Chief Justice Roberts writes the opinion. And I'll bet Alito and Clarence Thomas will oppose it. You have to be a Sonny Hostin, or where she got her idea from, Adam Schiff, dingling, bug-eyed, melon-head, liar, convicted liar, Adam Schiff.
Yep.
To believe that they're just delaying and going slow to help Trump.
And because we know the end result is if this case is not resolved by the time of the election and he, God forbid, becomes the president of the United States, the Justice Department policy is that you cannot indict nor put on trial a sitting president.
Yeah, and that is with a good precedent. You do not want to put a president on trial, or you have a president that won't try or do anything. For instance, why would Biden go and participate and help fund a war in Ukraine if he could get indicted while a sitting president, if he doesn't have immunity? He can't take a risk. He couldn't forgive student loan like he did.
Right.
He couldn't open up the southern border like he did. Or I should say, the only remedy that we have on record is you can impeach him. Politicians can get together and they can impeach Trump, which is what they did on Trump. You know what I mean? They can impeach Biden.
They sure can.
That's the remedy.
And so it's his get out of
He could
jail.
throw him in jail.
But it's his get out of jail.
Look at this crap. Like, look how Whoopi, like, I'm telling you, she be so entertained to hear something bad about Trump. Just look at how she just be grinning. Just to hear something bad. Oh, his get out of jail free card. And how is Sonny Hostin sitting here running her mouth, and she just found out her family was slaveholders. But she's sitting here running her mouth, though. And damn near got fired from The View because the producer of The View went off on her. Because The View don't want her on any other show but The View. Because he wants you to sit there and just talk and slander Donald Trump. That's what The View wants Sonny to do. So she almost got fired just by going on another show just to tell them that her family was slaveholders. But she's sitting here running her mouth about Donald Trump, though.
Jail-free card.
No, I'm saying Biden could throw.
Yeah.
See,
No, he
this is a
cannot.
slippery slope
but
because if they give him this immunity,
What's good for the goose
What I also
is good
will
for
say
Biden.
is
So it's good for the goose, it's good for the biter. They're already licking their chops. There's normal free speech, and then these ladies go straight to, oh, if Trump's allowed to have free speech, then Biden is allowed to fire every Republican and imprison Trump. See how quickly they go totally totalitarian?
Just stupid.
They go straight to Adolf.
They're listening to these arguments in April. The end of their term is in June, right? They return again, I believe, in October. The Bush v. Gore case happened real quick. Do you remember that? The Supreme Court knows how to work real fast.
That was the day democracy died.
Okay, my head's going to explode if I hear any more dumb.
They are
this
crazy.
Is on Bush versus Gore back in 2000, where Bush won the election by 500 votes in Florida. And basically, everyone agreed, almost everyone agreed, including liberal papers, agreed that Florida won the election by 500 votes. This is when they were all looking at the hanging Chad. It was a true emergency. The Supreme Court stepped in and said, we're going to stop recounting. Bush won Florida by 500 votes, that it was reasonable. That's all they did. It was not, they didn't decide an election. They didn't go in and recount. They didn't do anything. They went with what the electors already had recounted and said, that Bush won by 500 votes in Florida. Just to get back to reality, because these ladies are flat out lying and going nuts if they go, and on that one, the Supreme Court went fast. Yeah, it was an emergency. This is not. This is a made-up charge against Trump.
Exactly.
The insurrection is made up against Trump.
And that's the thing. Trump haven't even been convicted of that. That's why I don't see like why Illinois try to, took him off the ballot. Like, this man has not been convicted of nothing like that yet. Just the possibility of him being convicted, they want to just throw him off the ballot. The charges are just stupid. Don't y'all realize, which I'm pretty sure everybody that's watching me realize, that they doing this because there's no other way to beat Donald Trump. They can't beat him fair and square. Joe Biden cannot beat him on the mic. Talking on the microphone, Joe Biden couldn't stand a chance with Donald Trump. Donald Trump is making Nikki Haley look bad. The thing with Nikki Haley is she don't want to bag out. My personal belief is she don't want to bag out because she think Donald Trump is going to get locked up, and since she's still the person that's still in, which I wouldn't call her no Republican because she got all Democrat ideals and talking points, she felt like she'll be picked for president over Biden. So she seemed like she just hanging around to see what's going to happen to Trump. She literally just lost in South Carolina. Lost in your own hometown. And you think you're finna go somewhere else and beat Trump. This is just ridiculous, man.
Saying that he can't run. And then Trump's defense, in responding to a made-up thing, he said, Trump goes, I have immunity. And yes, I believe he did do that mostly to buy time. But just so you know, his buying time is not what's illegitimate about the case. What's illegitimate about the case is the Democrats, Chutkin, Jack Smith.
I think that we shouldn't worry that this is not going to happen quickly, because we know that they can. And I also think that Justice Roberts knows that the Supreme Court approval rating is at an all-time low. And he understands that, and he wants to protect the reputation of this court.
That's actually really bad if it's true. I hope it's not true. I don't think it's true. That Justice Roberts cares about the reputation of the court to the general public. That's not what a judge at all, a Supreme Court justice at all, is supposed to be doing.
Right.
If she's saying that brings her peace, she's saying in effect that he is influenced by the whims of your culture, which at one point in American history, culture said blacks shouldn't vote, women shouldn't own property. If that's what culture said, Sonny's saying, I hope the court listens to culture. I don't. That's why they have a lifetime appointment, so that they don't have to subject themselves to a vote. They don't have to subject themselves to the will of the people. That's not what a Supreme Court justice is supposed to do. It's the exact opposite. No matter how unpopular they are, no matter how many people hate them, no matter how unpopular the court is, they're supposed to decide things with the protection of not having to be elected every 4 years. Yeah. That's why they have a lifetime appointment. Someone please tell Sonny Host.
But the problem is it's a delay tactic. Yeah. Donald Trump has used every delay tactic in the book.
It's not a problem. It's good. It's what you do when the other side tries to throw you in prison for your free speech.
Exactly. They'll do the same thing. If what's happening to Trump was happening to them, They'll do the same thing. Oh, they're just trying to delay. Don't you think that's what Donald Trump wants? Delays. More delays is a win for Donald Trump. But they sitting here on this panel talking about, oh, that's what he want. Yeah, that's what he want. Because if you was in Donald Trump's shoe, you will want delays. But since it ain't you, you don't care. Man, I'm telling you, I mean, I don't know what they be thinking, who be writing down these ideas for them to say some stupid stuff, especially Whoopi. She say some of the stupidest stuff I ever heard. Talk about Joe Biden can throw all Republicans in jail because he the president. No, he cannot. Man, that was just a stupid statement.
Of course you come out with a immunity claim that's just a delay tactic so that you can actually run, because people like Elisa are upset that you're going to be able to vote on Trump.
Yep.
By the way, if you think Trump's a felon, don't vote for him. If you think he's a criminal, if you think he's guilty, don't vote for him, because I trust the vote more than I trust the courts.
Mm-hmm.
That's the real thing. These people on The View, these ladies, do not trust the vote on Trump. That's why they want to go to the courts. See, they're not Democrats. They're not for democracy. They're not for the vote.
And this will vary like the best case scenario, because after they rule on this, then it goes to trial, but he is entitled to discovery. He's entitled to time to try to prepare his case. This could end up coming up very late summer, like September. And then there's this open question of, do you move forward with a conviction just months out from the election, which DOJ will have to weigh?
Yeah, the Department of Justice, hooray, Merrick Garland will have to weigh if he goes to prison that close to the election. No, Jack Smith, you do not conduct an emergency to us. We're
right.
The highest court.
Yep.
You don't get to put us in a panic. Neither does The View.
I give them credit, but they were too slow in this. The January 6th committee actually did a lot of the heavy lifting here. This could have moved so much sooner.
So remember, she's saying that it was the Democrats that went too slow on this. So now she's mad that they went slow. And then the Supreme Court, the justices are going slow. She goes, no, you guys have to go fast. Well, then why don't you blame the Democrats for not bringing this court case faster than they did? And here's why they didn't bring it faster, gang. Because Trump didn't announce that he was running for president yet. And that's what triggered the whole thing.
Yep.
It was Trump choosing to run, and the Democrats have to take his name off the ballot. That's the timing of everything, Elisa. You moron. That's why it happened when it happened. It's like she can't, her little mind.
See, and the thing about it, Doug, is that she knows that, but she get on this show and just act stupid. Act like she don't know, oh, they should have did this. I told you, they want Trump in jail so bad. I'm telling you, Whoopi them is ready to laugh, giggle. I mean, they just ready to do it all if they announce Donald Trump is finna go to jail. That's what they want. They should have moved faster. They need to hurry up and get this out the way so we can go and get Trump up out of here. That's what they want. And they sit here on their show and everything Doug just explained is true. But they sit on their show and act like they didn't know that. This is what they do.
Can't put it together. I'm trying to help you. Your tiny mouse brain. How can you not understand? That's why the Democrats waited so long. That's why the Department of Justice waited. That's why Jack Smith waited. That's why Chutkan waited. They didn't bring it up until too late. It's their fault. But they only brought it up because Trump decided to run for president.
And then we have Fulton County, where because of the Fani Willis issues is also delayed.
Yeah, and whose fault is that? Is that Trump's fault? Is that the Supreme Court's fault that Fani Willis is such a fraud that they just ran this half-baked cockamamie idea and ran 18 RICO charges on people by an amateur district attorney and her amateur boyfriend who never tried a case, go and do all these RICO cases? Is that Trump's fault? Is that the Supreme Court's fault?
I mean,
that is not Trump's fault for what Fani Willis and Nathan Wade got going on. Like, they just won't be truthful at all on this show. That's the problem. That's why I cannot watch them. Like, even if you don't like Trump, tell the truth. Don't try to blame that on Trump because of what Fani Willis and Nathan Wade got going on and what they did. The reason why they in the situation that they in, it had nothing to do with Trump. She shouldn't even been bothering Trump in the first place and trying to indict 18 other people with RICO charges. She shouldn't have even been trying to do that. Now Fannie done found herself in some trouble. But we waiting on them 2 weeks to see what that judge is going to say. That's what I'm waiting on.
There's no reason for them to actually take this case because the two lower courts said, listen, this is what it is.
Whoopi doesn't understand that's the reason why the Supreme Court has to take case, is because the two lower courts took it and they were all packed with Democrats.
And so if they were to turn against what the two lower courts thought, I think this is
Now, you know the problem is, before she even get that out, she talking about that the smaller courts had already determined what they were going to do to Trump. Now peep this right here. What if them lower courts would have said that Trump wasn't guilty? And then Whoopi will be on there, well, they need to go to the Supreme Court because that court down there didn't know what they was doing. See, it's all about what they like. They ain't looking at it in that way. You know good well, if they didn't find Trump guilty, them smaller court, like this Judge and Goran and Letitia James crap, if they didn't, he didn't get found guilty, she would have been talking about take it to the Supreme Court. They gonna get it right. That's what Whoopi done would have said. It's just ridiculous. Just hypocrites.
very bad for them.
No, it's very good. You want Trump to get justice, even if the Supreme Court agrees with the two lower courts. I'm okay with it. He needs justice.
I find it very depressing. I find it.
Oh, don't be depressed.
No, I am.
Can I say one
I
thing?
find it depressing because I feel like not only are we alone in the universe, we're now alone in the country. We're supposed to rely on the Supreme Court to be up above reproach, and they're not.
Oh, she's so upset that they're not. What she means by above reproach is that they're not Democrat. They're not Democrat apparatchiks. And what does she mean by we're alone in the universe? Is that some atheistic
I don't
thing?
know
We're not
what
alone
she
in the
talking
universe.
about.
We have a great, loving God who sent his son to die for us. There's incredible hope, incredible goodness, incredible meaning in life, beauty, wonder, happiness, joy. She's a comedian. She should at least laugh. There should at least be great laughter. They're in despair. They're watching America go down a liberal hellhole. They're getting their way, and they're in despair. You babies, I'm happy. I have my faith in higher things.
Shout out to Doug, man. Another great video. Salute to Doug. Like I said, if you did make it this far in the video, be sure to go over to that man's channel. Link in the description. Get him a subscribe. Let him know that I sent you. Say, A-Dog sent me over here, Doug. But like I said, there was another amazing video by Doug. But, I mean, Joy Behar and Whoopi, Sonny Host and all of them, they are just ridiculous with what the takes that they be saying. They want everything to go in their favor. Talking about, oh, what if the Supreme Court overruled what the smaller court did? That's why it's a such thing as a smaller court and a bigger court. Supreme Court is over the smaller court. Just like if they would have found Trump not guilty, y'all have been talking about they need to take it to the Supreme Court so they can take a look at it. That's what y'all will be saying. So it's just ridiculous with the things that they be saying. It's just crazy to me. Crazy. But, you know, it's The View. So y'all let me know in the comment section what y'all think about it. And like I said, thank you for watching, and I'll catch y'all in the next one.